So we talked about it earlier. There's no job like being a parent. I don't
No.
give a shit what construction or what IT job you have or what math job. The job that's the realest job you could ever have is a parent. You know, and I mean the parents. I'm not talking about the weekend daddy shit. I'm talking about the person that when the baby wake up, they
What?
wake up. The person that got to go to work 2 hours after and the person that got to make the decisions and
Mhm.
and and all this shit, put the clothes together and make because children can't do that for themselves at certain ages.
Mhm.
So those formative years are oh man, it's real tricky. And at this moment, I'm a single father, and at first I was resistant towards it because I've been in my manship for so many years. I have 7 children, but
Mhm.
this is the first time I ever had full custody of any of my children, to where the decision's on me, and it's a baby. It's a two. It was a three. When I got her, she was like 1.5, 2. I was always with her, but when I had full custody over, she was like 1.5, 2 years old.
Mhm.
But for a baby is a whole different monster. Potty training and you know what I'm saying, and going through that peeing on the carpet, peeing on the couch. You're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
want to sit up and watch the game. You want to watch the game, or you want to chill. You want to go somewhere.
Oh,
Can't go nowhere unless you got things on deck. And a
yeah.
lot of times you don't have it on deck.
You spend so much time trying to get them mobile, trying to get them walking, trying to get
Oh
them
yeah,
because
oh
they
yeah, man. Potty training, it's a thing, man. And but the jewel of it is that seeing this development also shows me and share. It gave me the knowledge and understanding, and that's why the child is understanding. It gave me a better understanding how everything works in the universe. Everything in the universe starts small and grows large. Like what you're doing right now. If you want to take what you're doing to the next level, hey, it's small right now. It's embryo stage. It might be even the semen stage right now. It might be the you know what I'm saying, on that level. But
right.
as you keep developing, what happens? It grows, it gets larger, it gets larger, it gets bigger, and then it turns into a full grown situation.
Mm.
And this is the way everything works. And that's why, back to LL, he didn't say it to me, but I took his conversation on patience and taking your time with yourself and with what you're doing.
Mm.
And in an essence, it's the same principle when you raise children, because you can't. Impatient parent is a bad parent. The stressed out parent is a bad parent.
Mm.
If your wife or your girl is stressed out, she's not doing the best job she can do. And that's where you come in to help her and take that stress off of her. And the same for you. If it's vice versa.
Mm.
A stressed parent is not a good parent.
You know, well,
Because how can you be a good parent and your mind is somewhere else and you stressed out about something because you're not in complete balance in yourself.
mm.
So the children suffer based on that. And because of this is why we have to spend time sitting still, meditation. We gotta help each other, man, not hurt each other. The black family has been failing because ego is involved in, you said this, you did this, instead of looking at the bigger picture, and that's the children. Because relationships do wax and wane, they do fall off. Nothing lasts forever anyway. We all should know that. So, but in spite of, if the relationship doesn't work, that doesn't mean don't work and still be there for your children, and don't be supportive for the mother or the father. Still be supportive, because when you're supportive, the child is reaping the benefits of your support. As we all should know, whether you might not have grew up with your father or your mother or whoever, or whoever your caregivers were, but the fact of the matter is support is everything, and the support is under that word care.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's just good, man, to get in tune with the black family, man. And if you can hold it together, man. It's not about compromise, it's about setting boundaries.
Mm.
That's the one thing I learned. For a long time I was in relationships, and a lot of times they failed because I didn't set boundaries,
Mm.
and she didn't set boundaries. A relationship without boundaries is a freeway without a median or lines. It's going to be head-on collisions. It's going to be crashes. You're going to go over into someone else's lane that you shouldn't be in. You got to have boundaries. And this is the whole game of the street life. When you're driving your car on the street, the reason you can drive side to side next to someone is because there is a boundary that's telling you, hey, this is your lane. This is my lane. Don't come over here. Don't do that unless you signal and let me know what's going on.
Speaking
And
of,
so boundaries are equivalent to the lines in the street.
I'll say, speaking of, right? What's it like start project while
You said your phone broke up again. You
oh,
said starting a project while what?
I said, what's it like starting a project while simultaneously raising a family?
It's it can be difficult, but the only reason it was difficult at first is because I didn't all the way embrace it. Because again, for so many years, I've been the father. I've been the fun daddy. Like some of my ex-wife called me the fun daddy for years, and I never understood what that meant until I had full custody of my children. These last two, and when you see your kids on the weekend and you can drop them back off, that's different than nah, they with you. And sometimes they might not leave on the weekend. What you gonna do? You know, in that whole scenario, and you got to feed them, and you got to make sure they're good, they're clean, and bathe them, and this and that. And the only problem with it is I was resistant, but then when I stopped resisting, everything began to persist in my life. Things got better, and then I was able to organize my time because we all have time, but the thing is, it's just like working out. Like, you know, when I was going through the stage of not working out at all, I mean, I always had some sense of going to the gym, but the way I'm doing it now is based on I'm setting a block of time for myself. I don't give a shit what client I have or what's going on, but I set that block of time around my children's time. Even I tell my clients all the time, they call me late night sometimes to get a cut real quick because my business is in my home. And I have my barbershop in my spot right now. It's private. But you can't call me after 5 o'clock because I'm with my children after 5 o'clock. And if you do, I'm going to have to really charge you. And it's rare that I do that because it takes away from my children. This is my time I work. It might say 8 to 5. Hey, you got all the time in the world to make a decision. If you can't make it in that time, then you have to go to someone else. And you have to stick to that. And that's called a boundary. Those are boundaries within your business. The same boundaries within your business have with your woman. And your woman has to have with her man. And if you don't have boundaries, it's going to fail. Because you guys are living off the happy times and all the memories and shit. But if you don't have boundaries and you don't have respect for each, boundaries is what creates respect.
Yeah.
That's where respect comes from, boundaries. Hey, this is me. This is why I ain't putting up with that. I'm not doing that. And sometimes you might have to leave. You might have to bounce to show somebody, hey, I'm not playing about my respect. I am not playing about my rules. You might have to cut friends off. You've been there before, I'm sure, like most of us. Sometimes we're not friends with the same people. A lot of times we was friends with when we was 10 years old and 15 because they might have did some fuck shit. Or they might have did some funny stuff, snitched on a nigga or something. And you're not a snitch type dude, and you like, yeah, I can't really fool with you because that's not my rules. I don't live by those. I don't do that. You sell crack still, I don't do that. I'm a family man.